1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2. What if we just did like a pill opening ASMR? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's JK. Thanks for tuning in for another video. Go ahead and subscribe if you're interested and turn on the notification bell so you can know when I upload a video anytime, every time. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be about antidepressants. Now, I have been clinically diagnosed with depression since 2014 after a suicide attempt, and I'm not going to go into detail on that because now it's been so long where I wouldn't say laugh at it, but it's not so sad anymore because I realized like what I was going through, you know, I was actually able to come from that. So yes, I've been clinically diagnosed with severe depression for a very long time, and ever since then I've been on some kind of antidepressant. And I actually stopped not too long ago, just completely stopped taking them. And let me go ahead and disclaim that I am not a medical professional, obviously. I have no place to give any advice on when you should or should not take antidepressants. This is strictly my experience, my opinions, and my results life. So please do not take anything I say and go and apply it because I don't want anything to happen to you, and I don't want to get sued. So like I said, back in 2014, I was in my second year of college here in Columbus, and I did attempt suicide. And you know, my family and my close friends, everybody pretty much knows about it now, so it's no big secret. Obviously this is my first time saying it on camera, so surprise, I tried to kill myself. And y'all, okay, I'm sorry, I have a really dark sense of humor, so please forgive me, but this video is not meant to be sad or, you know, like heavy-hearted in any way. I just want y'all to know what happened when I stopped taking the medication that I was prescribed. So the very first antidepressant that I was prescribed was called Celexa. And what Celexa is, it's well, if you know anything about antidepressants, they are, well, okay, let me go back. Depression is a chemical imbalance in the brain. It's where you have more, I would say, negative hormones than positive. Again, I'm not a doctor, I can't go too deep into it, but it's been explained to me so many different ways, so many different times. It's like the best way I can think of it is you have all of these bad hormones or like negative hormones, serotonin, I believe that's what it's called, you know, the sleepy hormone, and they outweigh your good hormones like your dopamine. So the antidepressants are made to, over time, it's not something that's instant, over time are meant to go in and basically like eat, I don't know how to explain it, like eat the bad stuff and like make you almost numb to, you know, depression, like, you know, the bad thoughts and the negativity and just feeling down and fatigued and sad. And it's supposed to make you think more clearly and, you know, be able to get through your day, be more productive, you know, have more energy, things like that. There are different antidepressants for different levels. There's so many, some of them stronger than others, and I'm going to tell you about the ones that I took. So again, I was first prescribed Celexa, and that's usually prescribed to children, to my knowledge, children with depression or young adults. And around that time I was 19. I was 18 still when I did that. So they prescribed me Celexa. After that happened, I was actually, well, when it happened, I was living on campus, but then I moved in with my dad and everybody else, and you know, I was taking it because I had to, but then I actually stopped. I just stopped taking it. So, you know, time passed along, and when you're diagnosed with severe depression like that, you should not stop taking your medicine. Well, it's not recommended to just stop abruptly because it could really mess up, you know, the way you're thinking, your emotions, and make you really get even more depressed and, you know, suicidal. So I actually stopped taking it because I didn't feel like I needed them, and I started. They were working for a while. I do remember that because I didn't feel so depressed anymore. I stopped going to school and I started just working, you know, just strictly working. It was about a year that I had stopped taking the Celexa when I got depressed again. And this is actually when I, you know, re-enrolled in school, and I was living in Bainbridge with my aunt, and I was in school for nursing. And while I was down there, I actually went and saw a doctor, and I was then prescribed Prozac. Now, or not lorazepam, I forgot the generic or the off-brand name, but Prozac. Prozac was actually the best antidepressant that I was prescribed, in my opinion, because I was actually trying to lose weight as well, and that stuff had me like completely tunnel vision focused. Like, I would go to the gym twice a day. I was eating healthy, no hesitation. Like, I mean, straight up just a whole new person. So yeah, the Prozac was definitely the best one I had, but that one was only short-lived because I never went back to get, you know, like refills or anything. So that actually was very short-lived, and I never really took those again. And I noticed that over time, like me going on and off, it caused a lot of issues, especially with alcohol. I love to drink now. You know, since I started drinking, I've always liked to drink just because I like the feeling, and I know how to make really good mixed drinks. So there you go there. When I stopped taking the Prozac, actually started drinking a lot. So I noticed that was one of the biggest side effects, and that actually, I'm gonna go back to the neck because I've been prescribed another one after the Prozac. That's one of the biggest things I've noticed, is anytime I stop taking the pills, I start drinking a lot more, like heavy. You know, it becomes or it's like habitual, almost like alcoholic level. That's arguable if I'm an alcoholic or not, I don't know, but I mean, this is in the past, this is not currently speaking. But I definitely started to drink a lot more once I stopped the Prozac. You know, I had lost a lot of weight. I got actually in shape, like, you know, I was toned or getting toned. And I just felt good, but then when I stopped, you know, I started to basically self-medicate with the alcohol. And I also smoked weed too, but the weed wasn't as serious. It was like a social thing, but the alcohol was definitely like, you know, drinking by myself at night just because type stuff. So anytime I ever stop, that's definitely one of the biggest side effects, alcohol. And let's see, skip a couple of years forward, I was re-prescribed. Oh, I moved to Denver and I started to see a counselor, and she actually prescribed me with Celexa again because I told her about the, you know, how I was taking it initially and how I felt like it kind of worked. And she's like, okay, we're going to try this again. We're just going to up your dosage a little bit and put you back on the Celexa. And that did not work for me at all. The second time, it did not work even a little bit. If anything, I felt like it made it worse. It made my depression like way worse. And so I took that for a good like 6 months because as you know, it does take about 30 to 60 days for it to actually kick in, for you to actually start to feel different. And it's not an instant change. You'll just notice your behavior changing. You'll notice what doesn't, you know, really make you mad anymore. Like I have really bad road rage. Like it's severe road rage, and actually any antidepressant I've ever been on has helped me with that. That's one thing I can credit for each one of them. But yeah, that didn't work for me the second time. So when I got back home, I started seeing a psychiatrist here in Columbus, and this was about 2 years ago. And I was prescribed Wellbutrin, or what's called bupropion or something like that, XL, but Wellbutrin is what I was given, and that actually worked as well. It's definitely, well, I don't think it was better than the Prozac, but it was definitely working because I had a, you know, very stressful job, and that helped me kind of calm my nerves, and I wasn't so anxious all the time. You know, I was able to get stuff done. I didn't feel like I just wanted to sleep all day. But the Wellbutrin had the worst side effects. I actually started bruising. I started getting random bruises that they didn't hurt. It was just, you know, these huge bruises like on my legs, on my arms, especially on my thigh area. Just bruises out of nowhere. Also, while I was taking the Wellbutrin, you're not really supposed to drink alcohol while you're on antidepressants, but I was drinking while I was taking the Wellbutrin, so I think that may have had something to do with it. And of course, I didn't tell my psychiatrist that I was drinking, but I should have, because maybe he could have done something, you know, altered it or something. I don't know, but yeah. That had the worst side effects. That's actually the only one that I saw physical side effects with. So earlier this year, I actually just straight up stopped taking everything. Like, I was also given an anxiety medication called lorazepam, and I don't really know if that worked, honestly, because it was only one bottle and it was take as needed, so it wasn't something I had to take every day. It was just when I was feeling anxious, it was recommended that I take one. And I did take them, but I honestly can't tell if it worked for me. I definitely know I was still anxious in some cases, but I don't know if that's me having anxiety or just overthinking or what. But yeah, earlier this year I just completely stopped, and I again started drinking heavy. I started drinking so much. I didn't want to smoke weed because I felt like that just made me tired and worse. I'm not saying, you know, again, this is my opinion and what happened to me, so, you know, this is not me saying, you know, weed's gonna make you depressed or alcohol, da 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 da. No, this is what happened to me. So yeah, I started drinking a lot more again, and I mean like daily, drinking daily, you know, when I got off work, on the weekends, shit, like any chance I could. I always had alcohol at home. If somebody's on the way, I'm like, hey, can you grab me a drink on the way? And if you're watching this, you know, like if you're one of my close friends, you know, if you're on the way, can you stop by Circle K or can you stop by the liquor store and give me this? I'll cash app you. So yeah, that happened. And I wouldn't say I got more depressed, but the thoughts of just not wanting to be here and like wondering all the time, like, what's my purpose, why am I here, those came back heavy. And so I found ways to cope with that, you know, like writing, finding my creative space, you know, recording. I basically video journal. So I have, like, instead of writing now, I just record and talk to myself. And that's not my vlogs or anything that y'all see. This is for, I have like a whole file of videos of me just talking to myself about how I'm feeling and things like that. So pretty much what happened the most, I started drinking heavy again. And now, you know, I've slowed down because I'm trying to get more healthy. And I know that's not good. Like, I'm young now, but, you know, that stuff will catch up to you later in life. So I understand that. I would say stopping kind of forced me to get out of myself, because I wouldn't say that antidepressants had me feeling numb, but I actually kind of do. It's like there's this screen. They put up a screen for you that, you know, like those nets that block out mosquitoes and stuff. I feel like that's what antidepressants were for me. But now it's like all I really had to do is just put on some off spray or just make sure I'm paying attention enough to not let a mosquito get on me and bite me, if that makes any sense at all. Because I didn't want to be so dependent. I didn't want to be dependent on antidepressants for the rest of my life. And I have so many, and you know, I'm so sorry for like in the beginning wasting those, but I have what's called mail orders, so they would just send them and send them and send them. So I have so many like bottles and bottles of pills that, I mean, half of them are expired, but there's so many. And it just looking at them all just made me realize, like, wow, this is going to be my life, you know, me having to medicate for being depressed or whatever. But I've learned that you can come out of it without medication. Now, you shouldn't do what I did, and you shouldn't just stop taking them without talking to your doctor first. You're supposed to, like, you know, ease your way off of them, but I just stopped because I just stopped. I didn't feel like it was a big deal. And it's been a little while, so the bruising and everything definitely cleared up from the Wellbutrin. That's gone. I don't get bruises anymore. You know, I do still get sad, but that's the thing. Everybody's gonna have sad moments, and I have also what's called seasonal depression, so it gets way worse in the wintertime, like around the end of December. My birthday is December 29th, so like between my birthday and like the first 2 months of the year, maybe 3, I do get really sad, or it's so much easier for me to fall into that, you know, depressed phase where I'm just like, I don't want to be bothered, basically like hibernation. And then I always come out of it, you know, within like the late spring or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. There's not like a huge difference, like nothing drastic happened. I didn't like have suicidal thoughts. I haven't had suicidal thoughts in a long time. You know, I do have days where I'm like, you know, still like, what's my purpose? Like, why am I here? And I get really, really down because I feel kind of lost. But I always come back from that. You know, it may take a day, it may take 3 days, but I always come out of it because I'm learning that, you know, just going outside and getting some sun could help. You know, talking to someone, not anyone, but, you know, a certain person that you know is not going to judge you or, you know, make you feel worse, things like that. So yeah, that's what happened, y'all. If you want to know any more, I mean, there's not really much to it. I just wanted to come and share because I was talking about this with someone the other day, and I'm like, you know, I should share, well, they recommended that I share my experience, and I'm like, you know what, this may be helpful for someone that may be wondering if, you know, they actually need to take antidepressants, or, you know, anyone that's thinking about going more of a holistic way, or, you know, trying to heal without, you know, some kind of medication. Yes, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'm sorry if this offended anyone, because I understand suicide is not a light topic, neither is depression or anything like that. But again, this is my experience. The way I handle my situations are obviously a little different than some people's. So yeah, I just wanted to come and share my experience. And if you do have any questions about, you know, like dosages, you can just leave them in the comments. I can let you guys know what my dosages were for those, and you know, about how long I was taking them, or any details you need on the pills themselves. Definitely, I'm completely open to sharing information. Just leave me a comment below. Go ahead and like this video if you want more on the mental health topics, or you just want me to share whatever. And again, go ahead and subscribe. And thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.